Hello, everybody, and welcome to Paranormal Nation Radio. Not so normal. How is Denise tonight?
Completely not normal.
Yeah, it's
But
been one of them not normal days.
yeah, not normal at all. And as you can see, I'm wearing purple, but I'm also wearing pink today. Today is the anniversary of my granddaughter's 4th year of not being here, and stillborn, and, still loved and still missed, and all that other stuff. And we're still grieving, of course. But we have a platform, so I can at least tell people, people who have lost children that they never got to see go beyond that day needs to know that we care, and it's not just them that's hurting. The grandparents, we miss all these things, and and how do you explain that to your sibling, the little ones that you do have?
They don't understand it right now. Now, when they get a little older, then yeah. But right now, no.
I think Piper understands because they kept her in the loop the whole time.
Right.
They do lots of pictures with her. And, Lindsay does make some jokes, every now and then that, all the kids are being bad, but Henley's being good.
Right.
So, it's difficult at best. I think I answered like 6 emails today, and that's it. Everything else, I've been unfocused and completely out of it. But I did finish all the laundry and did dishes twice. So that tells you. And the thing is I was caught up on my dishes.
Right.
So having 2 loads of dishes is a lot. But
I knew the day was coming up quick. I wasn't sure exactly which day it was, but when I got home from work, I seen it on Facebook where you had posted something. I went, "Yep, it was today." So.
Yep. Ron said he goes, for some reason I thought today was February 1st, and I said, "Yeah, I wish we could skip over this day, but again, we can't. It's we all grieve, and we all grieve differently, longer on some things and not so much on others. And I think it's all those firsts that we missed. It sucks.
It does.
And, and every time I look at the kids, I see something else that we're going to miss.
Uh-huh.
So I guess, what, everybody just keep everybody in your prayers, especially when they're pregnant.
Oh, yeah. Because you never know.
Well, it was like...
Enjoy your time while you're here.
Yeah, and, well, it just makes me go back to, that little child that, the 2 twins that got kidnapped in Ohio, and then they got them back, but one died this past weekend.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Did you ever find out why?
I haven't seen why. I just know that the child wasn't breathing. It could be SIDS, and there could be something related to him being kidnapped. Yeah. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't know. So, yeah. I totally understand, Joanne. It does. It breaks your heart to watch the misses. But yeah, I'm not going to get into that other thing I was telling you about, but I hope everybody watched last night's show and enjoyed it. It was a little bit different for me, but we had a great time, and our guests seemed to have a great time and made friends.
Oh, yeah.
They made friends. So we played matchmaker last night.
We had a variety of music artists, paranormal investigators, and Hollywood from the time she was little, in a lot of different things, and with a lot of people that she knew that we grew up with knowing, like big
Ron
movie
Howard.
stars.
I mean,
yeah. Well, she dated Ron Howard's younger brother.
Oh, I know.
And for a while, because Dad was teaching her acting classes.
Yeah, I know. It was
That was interesting.
yeah,
Hi, Brandon.
and her talking about having paranormal experiences in theaters and stuff. And then we have on Ghost Static, Adamo and Caleb talking about, hey, we go to these venues and we play our music and then we investigate them. And
Now
she's
that's different.
so we had country and rock and roll. So it was like I was interviewing Donnie and Marie.
It was.
So,
I mean, it was different, but it was so interesting and informative.
yep. But it was funny though that I had the feeling that things weren't going to go the way that they were supposed to, but they ended up okay.
They went fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at we'll say the age group between her and the younger guys that doing music and stuff. That didn't matter.
Yep.
It's still music. And she sang with a country band for 6 years, like she said, and did all this acting and everything, which that interested them because they produce and direct all their videos.
Yeah.
So that information back and forth was very informative for them.
I felt like I shouldn't even have been there, but I have to thank Frank J. Bennett or FJB if you guys are paying attention, Frank, for finding another great guest that fit in so well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Tanya, when we had her on, oh my God, that was a great show. And we found a way to make it paranormal because she's had paranormal experiences. Here's one we didn't know had any paranormal experiences, but I figured we'd find out one way or another. So, but yeah,
Hi, Nigel.
It was great. Hello, everyone in the chat. We are going to bring on a couple of our guests. We still have a couple that are trying to get into the but we're going to bring up P.R.I.M.O Paranormal. We've got Bobby Adams, and we have John and Terry Walter, otherwise known as Beetlejuice and a Minion. Again, there's stuff that I know that you guys don't. And it's not because I'm psychic or medium. It's because we volunteer with John and Terry at the McPike Mansion, and Bobby is a frequent visitor at McPike Mansion.
Oh.
So, and Bobby is into hypnosis. He can hypnotize us. Maybe he can hypnotize us to where we figure my house is all done and I don't have to paint that wall.
He'll hypnotize you where you see that room painted finally.
Oh, hypnotize everybody here so they see it painted finally. But again, I don't want to paint it if I'm not going to get to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to paint it if you're going to sell it.
Not if I sell it to Open Door. They'll paint it. They'll pay me the same amount of money regardless of if I paint it clean or anything else. I just have to get all the crap out of my house.
Okay.
I packed up one box before this show. Paranormal books.
Spooky.
You got to make sure you pack them up, and hopefully you put them in a plastic tote with a sealed lid.
Well, no, I didn't. I just put them in a box. And I'm going to put some Palo Santo wood in there to keep all the crap out of it.
There you go.
So, and John and Terry probably did not know, but we are moving to Florida.
Ooh.
Soon. So, and I like to welcome Diane and Terry Harker as well. Is that right, Harker?
Yes.
And so this is kind of a reunion. I had them on, I think it was my last or second to last show on the previous network. So
somewhere in there.
And of course, this is Ron for those of you who aren't paying attention.
Right.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Ron.
Hey, Bobby, John, Terry,
Diane
and Terry. Oh, okay.
So
you've known them for quite a few years because you guys have been involved with McPike for years.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Since 2009, we have, and John and Terry were there before us, and so was Bobby. So
I think we went on the tour first in 07.
Mm-hmm.
And then just developed from there.
That's kind of what we did. We went on the tour in
When did we go?
2009.
Was it 9?
Labor Day weekend.
Say
We
around
went and brought Leah, and we were there with, I don't know if you guys remember Gula, all the witches from Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And with Sonia and Wes. And they happened to be there that weekend. And I remember Gula telling us a story about the fairies messing with her tent.
Yeah.
I did this. Ron, he made a look, and I was like, okay, and just ignored what she said. and the only reason I can remember Gula's name is because it rhymes with my first name, so I'm able to remember it. But I never met her again. She was never there again after that. So, but yep, we've got a long relationship of Sharon telling us what to do.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and cussing Jerome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are going to do without us if we're not there for something and that tent needs to go up.
Nah, I don't think so. I think
No.
Sharon's had enough of it.
Probably.
We'll just stretch it between 2 trees next time and call it good.
Yeah.
No, I'd say no tent.
Yeah.
No tent. You guys roast your weenies and go sit somewhere else.
Yeah.
I tell Sharon you had an accident when you're getting the campfire started. You set it too close to it and it caught on fire. Darn.
Or dry rotted. But I will say the mansion is looking great.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I'm impressed.
I guess.
When were you up there last?
Last year?
Yeah.
That's about when we were there last, was last year.
Yeah.
How long before they're going to be able to investigate inside the home?
Probably only if you rent
First
it.
floor, if you do.
Well, since Sharon's making it into a bed and breakfast, that's how you would be able to investigate it, is by staying in the bed and breakfast, most likely. Or worst comes to worst, and they sell it because they can't take care of it anymore.
Right.
And then somebody else gets in good with the mayor and gets it approved.
Well, it's upstairs. It just isn't safe. I mean, you got floors that are actually gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See right through the.
Yeah.
On the first floor, when you go in and you go to the right, that's where all the stuff is stored that we use for the camp out. The floor is missing above the wine cellar.
Could advertise it as make your own ghost kit.
Yeah. You don't want to walk with me through Walmart. There's the make your own ghost aisle in hunting and fishing.
The same thing at Harbor Freight.
Yeah. Well, that one's a whole store of that.
So what's everybody been up to? You guys keeping busy, doing a lot of investigations, or what?
No, since COVID, we've been kind of idle.
Really?
Much has
Been
happened.
trying to find something to do.
And this year, it finally feels like it might be pushing forward a little better.
Well, every time we planned anything last year, with her health, it just fell apart. We got McIntyre Villa, and that was...
And a paranormal conference.
Yeah, Paracon. Made David's Paracon. That was about it.
So, let's see. Let's start with how you guys all got together to become P.R.I.M.O.
Uh-oh.
See, got the paranormal
That's the
cat thing.
mascot.
Yeah, this is Spooky, our littlest one who loves running across people.
Say hi to everybody in chat. Brandon, Susan and Mike, Gary,
Farrah,
Nigel, and Farrah.
And we've got up here Joanne Stewart.
Oh, and Joanne.
Yep.
Bobby, you want to field this one? You were there from the beginning.
Well,
And let's start with, what does P.R.I.M.O. stand for first?
Paranormal Research Investigations of Missouri.
Okay. I like John's better.
I still got your card, John. I show everybody. They love it.
I know.
I
I've
look
got
at it
one.
and kind of go, oh, I get it.
There's a lot of those teams, though.
Yeah.
That
We had
fit the criteria.
we had a core group of 5, and then we disbanded, and I caught up with these guys. And it's like, oh, okay, that'll work.
Okay, so now how did you guys all get together to be P.R.I.M.O?
That's the really the starting point. And we had, like all paranormal groups, had some people come, some people go. Management, so to speak, changed hands from time to time. And prior, just before I was the president of the organization, we had a lady who gave the official name P.R.I.M.O. And she also set up a web page and everything. And that kind of got it officially noted. And then since then, like I said, I've been in charge. John and Terry have been in charge for a while. And now we have Diane and Terry Harker are our current command, and we're moving along. We're really making some strides, and I feel we're in a position now, as John said, hopefully 2023 will be our year that we'll see a lot more investigations, and let's just say we're hoping for the best.
So Diane and Terry, why did you guys take over leadership?
Sometimes things are just handed to you. But yeah, we are really trying this year to make a difference. We want to get out there. We want our name to get out there. We're starting off, with this nice presentation tonight. In a couple of weeks, we will be at the library, and we're doing a presentation on our group, and we will have all of our equipment there, and we'll, have people manning different stations, explaining and answering any questions that people might have, and just, getting out more into the public. A lot of people have, some different questionable activity in their homes, whether it's, dishes falling and breaking, or pictures falling off the wall, or they're hearing noises, or doors are slamming.
You guys, we're having some feedback. We're having some feedback. Does everybody have their other browsers closed? Make sure you only
Anybody
have
watching
one
the show
browser
on
up.
another browser?
It could be my hearing aids. I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything open.
No, you're on.
Oops, no, I
Just
can't
this
see.
one.
Because, like I said, I hear something, and
I do too.
It's me. It's my electrifying personality. I'll just kind of leave the room for a little while. Let me know if it quiets down, okay?
I lost the picture. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, I lost the picture, so I don't know where everybody went. But anyway,
It looks to me like, okay, up at the top of your computer, do you have a camera?
Here we go.
There you
I
go.
got
There
it.
you are.
I don't know. Terry's got hearing aids, so we don't know if that's causing some interference.
It shouldn't unless unless you guys are on wireless, and we've never had that happen before.
Yeah, it shouldn't, but
Everybody
better now?
keep talking.
Yeah, it's
I'm going
better.
to shut mics off and see
No.
which one.
okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Test.
Say something again, John.
Hello. Is that
Hold
us?
on.
Testing.
Okay, now Diane and Terry.
Hello. Say something.
Hello. I can't hear you, but hello. I took my hearing aids out.
Yeah, it's still doing it, so I don't think it's your hearing aids.
It's not that, so we'll put them back in.
Go back in.
Well,
Yeah, I can't hear anything over here. It sounds fine to me.
Okay, well, we'll
I'm
just
not hearing it now.
okay. Maybe it went away.
Okay, it's on Terry and John's end because I got their mic shut off. Now I'm going to turn
Okay.
it back on and see if we hear feedback.
Okay, go ahead,
Okay.
Diane.
Diane?
Okay, we were talking about we're going to have kind of a show and tell, and at the library here in a couple of weeks, having different stations, bringing our equipment, having people at the different stations to answer any questions that might, come about, and hand out some business cards, and hopefully get some people interested in our investigative services. We're dying to get back out there. It's so much fun, and we're blessed with a lot of intuitives, clairvoyant intuitives in our group, which is wonderful that we can validate a lot of the information that the intuitives get with our information, with our instruments. So we want to get out there. We want to get our name known around here. So that's our goal for 2023.
So what kind of stations are you going to have?
Well, we've got the different monitors and equipment, the EVPs. Maybe we'll have a session with that.
Bobby go.
Yeah, just explaining how energy works. Maybe we'll have some experiments with energy, and just, a good one is just having two people stand across the room from each other and then start walking towards each other, and you can feel when you bump into another person's energy field.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a good way of simplifying the whole energetic process, and gives people a chance to say, oh yeah, I can feel that, and energy is so fascinating in itself. It's so fun to work with. I'm also a Reiki master and do a lot of energetic spiritual healing type of things, so this is kind of second nature, and I know Bobby does a lot of the same types of things. It's easy to be able to interpret that energy, and it would be wonderful if we can figure out a way to expand to other people, the different ways of interpreting energy. Some people are clairvoyant and some are clairsentients, and there's so many different types of clairs, and to let people know that one gift is not any more valuable than the others, because they're all valuable. And when we have the different clairsentience and clairvoyances and those kinds of things in our group, and we can bring all of these things together, then we've got all of the bases covered when it comes to our investigative processes.
And you know what? And if you're clear nothing, that's fine too, because you're still valuable.
Absolutely.
Right. Because feedback is important, except not in a radio show.
Right.
A lot of people have wonderful camera skills, and they can pick up things on cameras that some of the rest of us can't pick up for some reason. So like you say, everybody has value. Everyone has a gift, whether it's outstanding or if they feel like it's just minimal. It doesn't matter. A gift is a gift, and it all comes together in a complete package in the end.
Well, it's just like spirits sometimes don't want to talk to some paranormal people. They pick and choose who they want to talk to. It could be somebody that's there watching you do an investigation, and all of a sudden they go, something's happening. They're important too. The non-believers are important.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that the spirits look at. Oh, you don't believe in me? Guess what?
Here I am.
Here we come.
Actually, that's something I'm going to be talking about on Thursday night on the show that I'm a guest on. I'm going to be talking about skeptics, being skeptical. Not that you're a skeptic, but you have to be skeptical when you're a paranormal investigator, and not to be gullible when you're a paranormal investigator. And not only as a paranormal investigator, but as a customer of the paranormal team as well. You have to be skeptical, and you have to not be gullible, so those are important traits to have when you're a paranormal investigator, and people don't look at it that way. They want everything to be paranormal all the time, and it can't.
No.
There's no way, that everything's paranormal all the time. The fact that John and Terry's cat just put their tail in Terry's face doesn't make it paranormal.
No.
But the thing is, if the cat sits there and stares at Terry for 5 hours without moving, it might be, but you got to look at all the other stuff involved.
Right.
You know? So, because people put a lot of belief into their animals acting weird, you know? So, and I know John and Terry's cats, they're weird. They're just like ours. They're weird.
They fit right in.
Yeah, they fit right in.
But how did you come up with this station idea?
Well, I don't know of any other way to do it, really, other than just hands-on. Hands-on is the way I like to do things, and I think our group likes to do things. And we have people that love to do the doveskin rods. We have people that love to do the EVP sessions. You know, I love to do the energy work. So we have people that can man each of these stations, you know, using their own particular talents. And not everyone is interested in the same thing. You know, we've got a guy that loves to use his compass. And other people try to use his compass, and it just doesn't work there.
Right.
No.
So
I mean,
if
Right.
everyone
Yeah,
uses,
we've tried it too. Nothing, it didn't work for us.
Yeah.
No, I've
And
never
I-
had
and
a
I have
compass
too.
work for
Anywhere.
me.
I have 2 compasses just in case I need an EMF detector somewhere where I need something different. You know, like
Mhm.
you know, McPike Mansion is probably a good place for a compass because Henry probably wouldn't come near
It's
a device.
it's not a good place for Echovox because we've tried it.
How many
Nothing.
times?
And you've never gotten anything out of
No,
Echo Box
nothing.
down there.
We really, you know what though? To be honest, we really haven't tried very hard since Jerome passed.
I brought it in the one time, once since then.
Yeah, and like I said, we haven't all been together to try to use it.
Yeah.
Well, the night that we camped out, it was. You remember we invited you guys up to camp out with us,
Oh
John
yeah,
and
we
Terry,
just had to camp out.
and we just had we had Bate and Tim and Dara and her sister. The only thing we had, and Lisa and Bev, but the only thing that came through was Tim's grandma. You know, the odds of that were slim to none, but we didn't get anything else. So, but to be honest, we didn't have a lot of time because of all the tours that were going through that night. And you know how that is on that night. You know,
Nonstop.
well, because they still planned all these cellar sessions, even though they didn't have the camp out, you know?
Right.
So
Right.
it was busy. So, and we all know, even though we didn't have a real camp out, she still yelled a lot. I'm not, Terry will tell you.
Yeah.
You hear Denise a lot.
Yeah. Denise, Denise.
Yeah, Terry's going, thank God it's not me she's yelling for.
Just didn't know what she was doing. She's in charge of all the food,
Well,
the cooking. Yeah.
yeah, it just ran me through the place like, oh, Denise, we need
You
water.
notice I hid in the cellar.
Yeah, Kelly, we did get that picture. Did you
We
check
did?
it out?
Oh,
No.
oh, yeah, from last week. Oh, you did get it?
I
Yeah.
can get it. Okay.
Did you see it? Or you know, put it
Yeah,
up?
I could see something back there.
Okay.
Maybe we should look at it during the show tonight.
I'll see if I can bring it up.
Okay.
It's from last week's show.
Yeah, somebody sent us a picture and we're all gonna look at it and we're gonna analyze it.
There you go.
How's that for being put on the spot?
That worked.
Right.
Here's you a picture station. So I think that your idea is really good there, Diane. I think that that'll work out and it'll get people some hands on. I'll tell you, I've never gotten an EVP ever.
I would say that we have not had a lot of success with that either. Some of the things that we have that seem to be more beneficial is if we can have one of the intuitives get messages ahead of time and then we can run them on the EVP asking those questions.
Mhm.
And we do have something we would like to play. We were doing a session in a home, and I was upstairs and I could see a lady laying on the bed, and I could tell that she had had a lot of struggles in her life, especially with some mental illness. And just doing a whole dialogue with her. And when we went to do the EVP session, we were able to ask some specific questions about her life and how hard it was.
Specific.
And we were getting
happened?
some very specific answers. So when we did the EVP session, we were able to actually pull her father through. And it turned out that in that day and age, the mental illnesses weren't really acknowledged, and maybe they probably thought that she was a little bit of a witch rather than actually having some behavioral issues and mental health issues. And it turned out that she was actually sent to an insane asylum and had been given some shock treatments. So when we asked the father about it, we're going to play the recording, and you can hear what he says.
I gotta take my
Oh,
hearing aid.
he's got to take his hearing aid out, otherwise you won't be able to hear it. Here we go.
Hold on. Give me about 2 seconds here. And
Well, I'm looking for it.
Okay.
Could you say that again, please?
If you can hear that,
Something messy.
when we asked him about sending her into the insane asylum and those shock treatments, he said it was the only option we had.
Father? Yes or no? Are you the girl's father? She was not old, she was 11. You got the words 15. Did she have some type of shock therapy?
I don't know. Can you guys hear that? I apologize if you can't.
Some of our listeners heard it.
Heard
Yeah,
something.
I heard something too. I just don't know what I heard.
Yeah.
I heard a sentence, but
We were actually communicating with him, and he would come through and he answered that one question in a complete sentence. And then we asked him about ages. One thing I've noticed about the ages is it's very difficult for people that have passed to get any sense of time. They have no idea what the dates are that they maybe passed. They just don't know. This girl that I could see was about 16, and he said she was 11. Well, from what I could see, she wasn't 11. She was older than that. There's so many interesting things. And then he also said a complete sentence in a foreign language, something that we just couldn't identify.
I'm okay. I personally myself, I thought he was like a guttural German. But then, hey, what do I know? But it was just like the guy was just kind of. But anyway, I'm done.
What were you guys using a ITC device, or was it just a recorder?
My specialty is cheap tape recorders, cassettes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm old school. I do a camera work there, and I do audio recordings with cassette tape players and whatever I've got at hand. That's my contribution to the group, basically. And then anything there that we come up with anything, I majored in history in college there, so and I know how to do research. So anything that we can pick up from talking to people, I go back and I look and I bring up the dates if there's a fire or whatever like that. There I can find out where it happened at, how many people died, whatever. It's a lot of interesting stuff, but I keep pretty good notes on this, and I'm sitting here right in front of me now. I've got a lot of different investigations and what we did pick up from our session. So that's just, I guess that's my only contribution. I do want to add though that John Walters there is, to me, he's an attractant. He's really good with the camera, and it just seems it's like the spirits are just coming up to him, tapping him on the shoulder, and says, "Hey, take my picture." You know, so I mean, he's come up with some really, really good stuff. So, and Terry too now is following very closely in his footsteps. A couple of investigations we've done some time back there, she is really coming up with some really good stuff. So I just wanted to say a shout out to those two, and I'm gone.
Thank you.
And to Kelly Green out there, I
Uh-huh.
added you on my Facebook. Send me that picture again. Because I can't find it now.
You can't find it now?
You know, I've had that happen a few times where I can't find something somebody sent me. And I know it's there. So
No, Kelly, I didn't.
Yeah.
So Gary asks, what is you guys' favorite equipment?
Well, I've got a what do you call that? Video camcorder with night vision, and that's what they're talking about. Diane and Terry are talking about. That's the one I catch stuff on, and well, the Missouri State Pen. I got 3 great EVPs with that little camcorder.
Yeah, and that was before we had wine.
Right.
Yes.
So, and how about you, Terry? What's your favorite piece of equipment besides John?
Dining rods.
Huh?
The divining rods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is that because of your love of Sandy?
No. No, I love the divining rods. They're my favorite.
And Terry, Mr. Terry here, I'm going to go with yours. Is your favorite is either the research or your recorders, your tape recorders.
Is that a question?
What's your favorite?
Yeah, that's my favorite. Yeah, tape recorders are just the cheap cassette tape recorders, and then I like to do the research and verify a lot of the facts. One time we found a place there that we, with all the spirits that were around there, we assumed, maybe probably didn't assume, that there's a portal there because people are coming in from different areas. And as we did the EVPs and et cetera like that, the amount of information that I would wrote down there when I got home there, I'd do my research here and find out places that, okay, these people weren't from around here. They might have been out in San Francisco during the earthquake there. They may have been down south someplace during a large fire. Some of them were from Missouri. But it's very interesting because, when you have a portal, it seems like these people travel back and forth. That's an assumption on my part, but I like the research part.
And Diane, what is yours?
Well, I've got a whole suitcase of equipment, but being a clairvoyant, I just like to witness what I can see. I like to visit the spirits and write it down, tape record, visit with them, actually have conversations with them. So I don't really use a lot of equipment. Some of the equipment out there I don't really care for. Some of our members like to use some of the internet, radars, ghost radars, and things like that. I'm not sure that those are really a viable piece of equipment.
The Ghost radar isn't
No, that's
Yeah,
a
I
piece of
think
crap.
those are.
I can,
entertainment.
you know what? I can explain that later. But don't use, if you're out there and you're listening to this, throw away Ghost Radar. Delete it off your phone. It is triangulation software, location software. No, you don't want to use it. But there are, if you want to know some devices that
It
are
says entertainment only.
any apps that are good, I'll tell you which ones they are. So, Bobby, what is your favorite equipment?
Did we lose him?
He froze.
Freezing
He
up.
froze.
Well, you know, it is kind of cold.
Yeah,
So
it is in our house.
Did you get ice and snow?
We
Yes.
got
So
like, yeah, layer.
Carl's going to share this photo that Kelly Green is sharing with us. She sent it last week and she was talking about it. So we're going to share that with everybody and see if they can see something in the red circle here.
In the red circle right
I
there.
got to move it.
Yeah, they won't make that
I
bigger.
see her eyes and nose, mouth.
I see.
Where was this at? Forgot where she said it was at.
I forgot where she said it was at.
Up there and a nose like that.
Let me go get my glasses. I don't have my
Oh,
glasses on.
okay.
Be right back.
You want to borrow mine?
She just taking a selfie of herself and caught it.
Yeah,
That's what
there's
it looks
another
like.
picture too. Let's see which one this one is. There it is in
Oh,
large.
there it is. Okay, this is when she inverted the colors.
Right.
Is anybody else
This
seen
was in
Owl?
her old apartment. She lives over in Europe.
Well, it's definitely not a reflection of her.
No,
That's
No,
looks
pretty
like
it's
a
cool.
not.
little Bigfoot.
It looks like a little maybe Eskimo Indian girl.
I see a little girl's face
Yeah, a little
over to the
girl.
left side. You see the eyes and the nose
Yeah,
and the
she's
mouth.
kind of looking away
Looking,
from her.
looking
I'm gonna
away.
say I see something else. I see something that's really dark and that she's lucky not to be in that apartment anymore.
Really?
Okay.
I'm just saying that's what I see. And you know
It's a
me,
little girl, yeah.
Then
That's
it's
what we see,
the
Kelly,
evil
but
little girl.
Denise sees something
She sees
more
something
into
different.
it. She
I
sees
always-
something more into it.
She's got a little chubby face.
Well, it looks like there's something off to the side of her face.
Is that
Hair.
like her hair is in a round curl ball right there?
Yeah,
Like they
well,
used to wear back in those days?
Looks
again,
like
you remember, Carl, I don't
a little
see
monkey.
faces.
I know you don't see what we see.
No, I see
I'll put
something.
it that way.
I see something else.
Well,
like
I think
what?
she's got a little
Can you
lighter
explain
in.
what you
8, 9?
see, Denise?
Carl, can you make it just a little bit bigger?
I colorize a
Like
little.
8, 9 years
I don't
old.
know. I
Ooh.
opened that up.
Thick hair.
Little girl.
Hold
Yeah,
the control button and scroll.
That's a little girl.
Maybe to you, but not to me. I don't see it.
Right there.
You're not going to be able to.
What do you see?
I see something that's not really very good.
Oh, okay.
No, that's as far as it'll let me.
Okay.
I see a little girl.
And
And
she no longer lives there, right? She said.
Yeah, no, she don't live there. That's her old
Okay, well, I
flat.
guess that's good.
Like I said, sometimes it sucks to be me and not see what everybody else sees.
Right.
it's like she's like this. But
Yeah, looking. Yeah, that's what I said. Looking away from her.
She's looking away from her
Yeah.
from the behind part.
She looks like she's about, I don't know, 8, 9 years old.
She's
Yeah.
right here.
Big hair.
that's her.
Yeah, long hair.
Yeah,
Okay,
long,
that's
thick
hair.
hair. Kind of a chubby face.
Face.
This was in the UK papers
Face.
too when she sent it.
There's another face. There's another face here.
Oh, you see two faces?
Yes.
What I see is not good.
Maybe that's why I'm
Really?
seeing.
I
That's
only
why
see
I'm seeing
one.
Maybe
something
that's
else.
why Denise is seeing something else, because there could be what I'm calling hair. Now that you say that,
Yes.
I can see two eyes, a nose,
Yes.
and a mouth on the other side
Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
that
To
I
me, it
couldn't
looks-
see before.
to me,
Yeah,
okay,
we see two people.
to give you what
Okay.
I'm
I don't see
seeing,
one, but
it looks like Alf, and it's
Yeah.
not Alf.
Yeah, I see two faces. Then I see like arms or legs or
Mm-hmm.
see right here.
Yeah.
Legs. It looks like
The other face on
That's
the opposite side of the
See
little
it?
girl looks like something's coming out of its nose or mouth.
See, with this being over there in the UK, there's so many different things over there.
Susan,
Yeah.
Very good.
Susan and Mike seeing 3 different things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
see three
see two
different
faces.
options, and if you look at it head on, where the two faces are
We have the
facing away from each
view
other,
down,
Right.
and the hair
facing
comes down in the
sidewalk,
middle,
red.
it almost looks like an owl.
Yeah, I could see the owl.
Yeah, I can see the owl, but I can see two faces.
Right.
Like I said, different mediums see different things.
See something right here.
Yeah, it looks like the snowman off of Frozen.
Yeah.
Good analogy there, John.
Robbie's back.
It's an interesting photo.
Yes.
Kelly says it's an old Victorian girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Another
that's
face.
very possible.
Yeah, that's looks like about that time period. Yeah.
But that was, thank
That's
you,
a
Kelly,
neat
for
picture.
sending that.
That was an awesome picture.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And then Susan says she can see a lady or a girl holding a baby.
Huh.
And like I
Wow.
said, y'all got to keep in mind.
Everybody sees the perception of
Yeah.
different people see different things in
Yep.
a photograph.
Absolutely.
Especially when you can see spirits all the time and you see one thing and somebody else sees another. It's basically what you're being allowed to see
Right.
or what's closed off from us at the
But
time.
like I said, I could take 5 mediums that don't know nothing about the place they're at, put them in a room, tell them to look around, see what they see, come out, and interview each one of them separate, and I would get 5 different answers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And if you didn't, I
mediums
would
see
wonder
different
why.
things in different ways.
Right. And the thing is, if you didn't get different stories from everybody, I would wonder why you didn't. Because we all interpret what we see differently.
Right.
I mean, at least that's how I see it. I mean, and
Absolutely.
over 50 years of paranormal experiences, yeah, I mean.
Well, that's how I see it too, because I know a few mediums and everything, you and a few other ladies and guys too. And I've heard them talk, and they've described what they see. Each one of them describes differently of how they see things. Like Denise will tell you, when she sees a spirit, they have no feet.
I haven't seen one yet with feet.
And I haven't heard another medium say that.
There was somebody said they didn't see feet too.
Yeah.
Who was that?
I had on.
Yeah, on the show.
Yep.
And when she didn't even ask, "Do you see feet or anything?" She asked, when you see spirits, how do you see them? She said, "Yeah, it was a woman." And she said, everything except their feet." And I was like, "Whoa, weird."
And John's here going, I didn't know Denise was a medium.
Hey, Carl, Gary wants you to put the picture up from that cemetery.
Oh, which one?
The
He's got so many pictures from the cemetery.
Let me see. I would say the one that you usually bring
Yeah.
up. So we don't.
I can't say exactly
Right.
what I see or
The one related to the stuff that we saw out there when Matt was there.
Oh,
hey, Brandon.
okay. That
Yeah,
one
Barbara.
I can bring up real easy
Yeah,
because
Barbara.
it's on an overlay right here.
Yeah, I know that one's easy.
Yeah.
So when you guys see this, what do you see?
Okay, where are we looking at?
At the screen.
I guess this whole blur right there.
See a horse?
Yep.
A horse?
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Mane?
Yep.
Or never saw that.
Really? Oh yeah, there's
Well, no,
eyes
until
in this
you
now.
describe it.
Yeah. If you just got to like glance at it and not, stare at anything
Right.
specific. If you just look at it right, you automatically see a horse. That's why
Yes.
And if
it's
you
like, oh, well, I like horses, so.
and if you focus on it, you may see
See something over here.
possibly a leg or a rider.
You know what that looks like? It's a horse, but it
Yeah.
looks like somebody like the reins.
Yeah.
They're pulling
You
the
got the
reins.
reins pulled back.
Right.
Yeah. There's eyes. There's glasses. There's hat. Do you see it? See hat.
So
Eyes.
historically speaking, this location has history related to the cavalry.
Okay.
Cavalry, Indians,
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah.
I'm just proud I saw the horse.
So
And this was captured on a trail cam.
he's just proud he saw the horse.
Oh.
That's cool.
So, and this is a cemetery up in northern Missouri.
That was taken with
Yeah.
a trail cam.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, that's at the cemetery we take care of.
Then we started a Facebook page. Haven't got it going a long ways yet, but it's P.R.I.M.O. P.R.I.M.O's all caps @ AT Jefferson CO period.
Okay, so Jefferson County.
Yeah. But I didn't spell out all the county.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't either.
And they wouldn't let me use the @ symbol, so I had to spell out @. But it's got our adventures at the Missouri State Pen, plus some other interesting pictures and EVPs and stuff.
Any pictures of us?
No, but Ron's in one of the videos with an EVP.
I bet you he would be.
Yeah.
I wander off on my own way too much. So, but you guys,
Yeah, that was
we had
pretty
a lot of
active
fun.
that night. That was a good time.
Hey, we didn't end up with heat illness. I was happy.
Right. We're trying to set up another one in March. February, they said they were coming out with their new hours and new tours, and I'm sure new prices.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for February before we actually book something so we can all go.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to Bobby. Bobby, what is your favorite equipment?
I guess my favorite piece of equipment is something you rarely see, but has brought some information. And this is called a sonic ear. It's a parabolic microphone.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
And at the time that it really came in very useful for us, we did an investigation at an old farmhouse in a rural area. Lady brought to our attention that she had issues with dogs going to a wall and barking for no reason. And she had disciplined the dogs because she felt they were just, well, being stupid dogs, and barking for no reason. Okay, fine. And other things were happening. There were picture frames that would vibrate. Well, with this piece of equipment I have called a sonic ear, when that thing is operational, I can hear a clear whisper at 30 yards.
He's kind of.
So I used this and went to the wall where the dogs were barking, and I could hear scratching noises. When we got to the basement and did further investigation, we found out she had field mice, and the mice had crawled up into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't hear them, or her husband couldn't hear them, but the dogs could hear them.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And so that was my favorite piece of equipment that really, I'd say, became useful. So
Yeah,
that's
that
my
would become useful.
Yep, the dogs would hear that.
Well, they pick up a lot. It's the same thing they use down on the football fields during football games, where the
It's like
guys are standing there with the clear dome,
Yeah,
holding
so
it
they,
out, and
they
they
can
can
pick up
hear.
all the cuss words.
Oh yeah, they can hear the
Well, they
front
can
line
hear-
out there 40 yards away.
They can hear the center fart.
Yeah,
If they want. So,
when they go Omaha, oops.
so thank God they don't have one here.
Yeah,
But you know, we used one of those parabolic mics.
I'm not even going to tell you what we had in the bottom of the piles.
I can imagine.
Remember when
You
we
guys were singing soprano after.
okay, we're rated G
What?
here.
Wasn't me. We had a pretty, well, we weren't very good, but we were pretty mean. No one liked playing us.
Apparently they kept their nuts in a bag. But
A lot of guys went on the injury list.
we utilized a parabolic mic at a cemetery down the road here from where we live with P.R.I. when they came out a few years ago. They were going down to the Garnett House, and we were utilizing it actually on the ground, listening into a grave. So it was pointed at the ground, flat, where we were listening to see if we could hear anything.
Oh, yeah.
They got stuff, that was interesting. And it was Thanksgiving and it was freezing. So there were no burrowing creatures at that time.
Right.
So, which in the spring and summer, you got to be careful because there could be burrowing creatures that you'll hear. But that time we didn't have to worry about that. But we've utilized that a couple times, and we've gotten some really good pieces of evidence from that. And Gary asked about dowsing rods, and I responded to him, letting him know, hey, Terry was talking about her divining rods earlier. And can you guys share a story about your, evidence you've gotten with your dowsing rods?
I have one right here that
Terry has one. He's going to
This
try.
Terry or that Terry?
Either Terry.
Dakota. We call him Dakota because we have 3 Terrys in our group.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oftentimes,
How do you know?
Miss
we
Terry
will
and Mr.
use
Terry.
we'll use the divining rods to confirm something that maybe one of us has heard or interpreted. So we will use the divining rods to get a confirmation on that.
Right.
Okay, I'm just going to kind of wing on this one here, but that is besides because I take pictures, I have the recording devices, but I also like the divining rods. I call them witch wands. And, I worked in the oil fields, western North Dakota, and I did line locating, and that's exactly what I used. 2 bent rods, and you could figure out exactly where the pipelines were buried, worked every time. Coming down here to Missouri, again, if you pick up the energy or the displacement of energy, and I remember we did a library here, but several years ago, and that was my thing to walk around and use. And generally, I just say, is there anyone near me that would like to make the presence known? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But in this particular place, there, I was out, I don't remember what the books were in that aisle. I said, give me some other sign there that you might be near me. And just like that, something started pulling at my glasses like that and actually got them askew off the side of my head. I thought that was really funny. Obviously, the spirit did too, but he did give me the sign that I asked for. A little while later, I ran into Diane and a guy by the name of Dave Plumador, and they were speaking with, you know that, Dan? You're speaking with somebody. And I came up there, and Diane told the guy, he said, give my husband a sign that you're here. And all of a sudden, my wands are just crisscross, boom, just like that. And next thing I know, somebody is hugging me. I mean, I could feel the total embrace, a very nice warm hug. Diane said to the spirit there, "You're making my husband, he's blushing and turning red."
Yeah.
And I couldn't really hear anything, but I'm pretty sure the guy was laughing. So divining rods there are really good. That's one of the things I like to start out with. Oftentimes that's what I finish up with, and sometimes, and divining rods is another thing here too. A really good response means that you either have a spirit that has a lot of power, or if you get a weak response, don't be in a rush, because sometimes the spirit does not quite have the energy to cross those rods very fast. Another thing I found out is that sometimes the spirits have a sense of humor. So if I say, "Is there a spirit near me?" There, one wand will just kind of wag back and forth, and that's their joke. They're like, "No." So I totally enjoy it, the divining rods. Which ones? So I thank you much.
I have a follow-up question for you, Mr. Cherry. What is the best material to have divining rods, dowsing rods made out of?
Well, in the world patch, you used whatever you had, which is generally a marking flag, which is just plain old steel. You just kind of bend them down at the end, and away you go. It just has to do with that. It has something to do with the molecular structure of the earth. When a digger comes through and plows up that earth, it's like the hands of the soil there have been torn apart, and it takes a long time for them to get back together again. What I do there during our investigations, I like it has to be copper. I prefer copper, either copper pipe, say a 1/4 inch,
Agree with that.
or even copper wire over it. But I prefer the copper pipe, about a 1/4 inch in diameter. And it's got to be comfortable. In other words, you keep a very loose hold on the thing. And I always make sure my wands are pointed slightly down, say 15 degrees from level down. That way, when you get a reading there, you know it's a true reading. If you have things level or hold them up a little too high, you're going to get a false reading, because it could be just gravity taking over or wishful thinking on your part.
Okay, so now dowsing rods are going to cost us a lot more because of the price of copper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you, but I got 2 sets.
Well, you know what? Here's a funny story. We went to a graveyard in Springfield, Missouri.
Oh yeah.
We were walking around,
Little ones.
and I had the ones that Jerome made. And
you put them in your back pocket for a little bit.
Stuck them on my belt loop.
That was
and one fell off. We spent, me, Dara, Caitlin, Lisa, Ron, we spent 30 minutes trying to find that other one. I think the lawnmower found it a few weeks later when some guy was mowing the graveyard, because I never found it.
The one dowsing rod that we had left, we tried to use it to find the other one.
Oh.
We thought that would work. It didn't.
We also used Caitlin and Dara had their dowsing rods that they got from Jerome as well.
Tried theirs too.
So I have one single dowsing rod left with the little triangle. You know what I'm talking about, right, Terry?
Yep. Yep.
You were probably there when I bought the set.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
But yeah, it's one of those weird things. I lost it, and I guarantee that lawnmower found it wrapped around the blade a couple weeks later. So
yeah, we use them quite a bit. We make ours out of anything, usually clothes hangers.
Yeah, that's why
they work fantastic.
Well, out there at the cemetery, we were finding unmarked graves out there with them.
Gary just posted he located a name of a person in the unmarked grave out there. So I had to get with him and find out who it is. Because we have our little cemetery out there. We know of 88 people buried, but there's only 58 headstones. But the dowsing rods show us several hundred people out there buried because of the cavalry, the Indians, the Mormon wars up here at that time frame, because we're only 3 miles away from the Hans Mill massacre.
Oh,
what state are you in?
In Missouri.
Oh, okay.
I'm up in the other corner of Missouri from you guys. I'm 55 miles north of Kansas City.
Okay.
And we're straight across from you guys in Kansas.
Cameron.
Right. Yeah, if you know where Cameron or St. Joe's at, St. Joe, we're about 40 miles
Yeah.
east of St. Joe on 36 Highway.
Yep,
Mhm.
we had St. Joe's to head back up to North Dakota to visit family.
Right,
Got I-29.
right. But
Okay,
we've
thank
got a
you.
little cemetery down in Caldwell County, which was the county that was given to the Mormons when it was created. And then 2 years later, they ran them out
Oh.
by a governor's
Decree.
decree to run all Mormons out of the state of Missouri and out of Caldwell County
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
because
I'm
they
gonna
were.
have to do some research.
Oh, do some research
Yeah, I had
on
no
Oh.
idea either.
And John and Terry, some of these Mormons that they ran out of that county ended up over in Atchison, where we took you guys around.
Yeah,
Oh, wow, yeah.
that was a cool tour.
Oh yeah, this whole county down here. Joseph Smith was down here and everything. And when I say the Hans Mill massacre, it's when Chillicothe, Missouri militia went over there to retrieve the cannon that the Mormons had stolen
Oh,
and killed 17 Mormons, including 2 children
oh man.
there.
Oh,
And we've investigated that site down there. Supposedly all the bodies are in a well down there, but the well would probably be covered up with 6 foot of
Yeah.
yeah.
mud and dirt over top of it now because it sets right on Shoal Creek.
Right.
And it floods all the time.
Oh, it floods, yeah.
Every year. When
And
we
no,
were out
Kelly, I
there-
didn't get that photo. I keep checking the mail and I didn't get the other photo of the orb. But yeah, you researched the history and it's all up in here. And then where
Yeah.
I live at is in Gallatin, Missouri, north of Caldwell County. And up here they had Mormon wars. But this area up here is known for Frank and Jesse James.
Oh,
Because the bank up here is the one they robbed and shot and killed the guy.
Denise is on Denise's bed.
Oh, that's the cat that I wish was gone. That's Keela.
Oh.
I
Yes.
got one of those.
Well, when we move, we're moving with 11 animals.
Oh man.
Oh man.
6 dogs and 5 cats.
Oh no.
And half of them aren't hers.
4 are mine. So we have 4 cats. Lauren's at home. She moved back.
Yeah.
Her and Becca are no longer together.
Oh, okay.
And Lauren got half the dogs and Caitlin back. So that's why we have so many. And then Leah has two dogs and 2 kids. And so we're moving to a house the same size as this. Here we are. We're supposed to be empty nesters and we're getting a full nest. So, but you know what? I guarantee people want to come visit us in Pensacola. Nobody wants to visit us out here in Kansas.
Right.
Except Carl. Carl wants to come because he wants to paint that wall and get it gone.
Yeah. Something's got to happen to it.
I'm
But-
thinking kerosene.
And Kelly, I haven't received it yet. I keep checking my email and nothing's popped up.
So, I'd like to thank you guys so much for coming on tonight. It's been great. It's really good to be hearing from you guys. And you guys have had a lot of different experiences. And so, speaking of experiences, what has been the most profound experience that you guys have had? Who wants to start?
I would.
I'm going to go with Diane since she's laughing.
Okay.
I mean, she's got something on the top of her head.
We've had a lot of really neat experiences. We had one where I could see this gentleman and I'm trying to get my face in here. Okay, he was lying in bed and I could tell that he was really sick, but then he took us back to a younger version of himself. And he told me that he loved to play the trumpet. And I could hear him playing this in the background. And then he also said he loved to dance. And when I could watch him, he looked like Fred Astaire. we were at the home of his granddaughter, and his granddaughter had no idea that he did play the trumpet and he did dance like Fred Astaire, and he had gotten many awards for both. So it was really fun that she was able to validate what he was showing us. And she was tickled pink to find out something about her grandfather that she had no idea. So that was one of the fun ones. We've had other ones where, the spirits will talk to us. They'll tell us, go away. We don't want you here.
So when they do that, do you go away or do you just keep bothering them? Because I
like
know
to be
we keep
very-
bothering them. I'm just saying.
It's good to be respectful of their wishes because we don't know, if they're going to turn on you or not. We've had a lot of ghosts that do not want us there. They're kind of guarding their herd, so to speak.
Their territory.
They won't let people cross over, so they don't want us there. And especially if they know that you can see them, they don't want you there. So we've had a lot of experiences with those kinds of energies. But we've had a lot of really positive experiences too, when you can sit and actually smell the pies that great grandma made back in the 1800s. And, when they are able to give you all of those senses, when you not only can see them, but you can smell the pie and you can, smell the barn smells and things like that. It's just really, it's really interesting. It just is. We've had one where we were doing a cabin and there were several people in the house. I'm going to say there were like 11. And we could get a detailed description from this gentleman, the father that we were talking to, and he would tell us, his wife's name, and he would tell us about her. Would ask her, well, what does she do? Well, mostly she writes, he would say. Well, what does she write? And it turned out that she was the bookkeeper for their farming operation. And he would talk about his acreage and would ask him, well, what kind of crop did you plant? And he said oats. And it was just being very respectful, and we could get an entire conversation about this guy. And then if you can go and you can research that and find out if what they told you is true, it's pretty, makes it really interesting, and you makes you want for more.
Is Mr. Terry still there? Yeah, I see him.
Yeah.
Have you had any profound experiences that you'd like to share, Mr. Terry?
Nope.
Okay.
Yes, he does. Our home back in North Dakota had a lot of visitors.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now we'll let him talk.
Okay, I'm gonna keep this here as clean as possible, but here's one that still sticks in my mind. So I come home from work, I'm in the shower, and all of a sudden I could feel something just kind of going down my back and this and that. And I go, well, that sure feels good. And then I thought to myself, and I really hope you're a woman ghost, not a guy. Sitting in our bedroom, the master bedroom seemed to have a lot of activity. One time I was sitting there watching a small TV that we had in there with my youngest son. All of a sudden the closet door starts sliding back and forth, back and forth. Now these doors are heavy and they just don't move on their own. And that actually kind of scared the heck out of me. So I jump up, I walk over there, the doors are closed, I whipped them back, and there's nothing there. Talking to a gentleman later, he said, it sounded like there was a child in there because that's the kind of stuff that they like to play. Our daughter,
He froze.
You want to tell that one about Sandra's lingerie?
And they're gone.
Well, our home was built on what used to be an old road. And our neighbor about a mile down the road, when he was younger, him and someone else were drag racing, and unfortunately he was killed.
Right in front of her.
Of our house, where our house built. And we did not know this when we built the house. So his energy was always present there. And we knew his family very well. But he would play tricks on my girls. He was always in their underwear drawer, kind of just rearranging, letting them know he was around. And he was very playful. And he would raise the bedroom shade just enough that he would know that we were there. Now my youngest daughter was able to actually see him, and she goes, "Oh, is Dad home already?" And no, but I could see this guy too, and he was wearing kind of the old oil field type of clothes, and I could tell what stature he was and things like that. But our house was very active. You could always hear the car door slamming. We were always going to look who was here, and there'd be no one there. And then it got to where we could hear video games being played downstairs, and the kids were gone. There wasn't anybody there. The radios would play. We never had anything bad happen, but there was always energy there.
Yeah, and the only thing that I can remember that was funny, I mean, really funny, was I come home from work, I'm gonna make a sandwich here. I took out a loaf of bread, it was whole wheat, set it in the middle of the counter, returned to get something else out of the refrigerator. All of a sudden, that loaf of it went flying across off the counter and onto the floor. And I said, basically, like, screw you. I said, because you don't like whole wheat, I'm not getting out the white bread for you. But and that was funny. I mean, it's like this guy just kind of messed with our minds. I mean, the only one that got scared was a future daughter-in-law. She came out to our house. We were gone. We got home. Every light in the house was on. She was sitting out in the front porch with an aluminum baseball bat in her hand. So, yeah, it scared her.
Well,
Yeah.
I have to say
She
that
didn't know.
I think that spirit was a little bit creepy and stalky. If he was messing around in the underwear drawers, maybe he was a peeper.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably why the shade
He was a
raised
teenage.
little bit.
Hey, he was a teenage boy ghost. What do you expect?
Right.
Yeah, panty raid.
Yeah.
So it things happen.
Which would explain why the shades were raised a little.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
We did tell him he could not move with us, and he tried. He did show up here one afternoon, and I chased him back. I said we were done.
Our previous house was haunted as well, but that spirit I got rid of before we moved. But we have spirits here all the time, but there's none here. They just come and go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lighthouse, and it's been more since Lauren moved back.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, that's because there's two of them to visit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She can see him too.
Mm-hmm. So
all the girls can.
Yeah, if we have time, I'll tell you a story that'll make you laugh when we're done. John, tell us about a profound experience that you've had in the paranormal.
That would have been the Missouri State Pen. I've got my video camera going. We haven't even started the tour yet. And Becky, I think was her name, our tour guide. And so I'm filming around, okay, and she's telling us where we're going to go and what we're going to see.
Are you sure it wasn't Maggie?
Maggie.
Might have been Maggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we were with Maggie.
Yeah, we were.
Okay, that was her then. And, just taking the tour, okay, not a problem. Got home, and when I put it on the computer and played it back, right at that moment, while she's telling what's going on, clear as a bell, you could hear in my ear, Henry. And, okay, that double freaked me out because up until I confessed to our group, only Terry knew Henry was my middle name. That just ran the chills up and down my spine.
Huh.
Did anybody ever call you Henry instead of John? Okay.
No, if Mom used all three names, I was in deep, you know what.
Oh, I know. I know. My sister Judy thought her name was Denise Donna. Damn it, I mean Judy. I mean, I remember her telling people that, what's your whole name? And she would say that was her whole name, that she went by her middle name. And it's like, no, Judy, your name is not that. But yeah, she was bound and determined that was her name until she was about 5 years old.
Well, I know John remembers when we were at McPike. It was in the summer camp out. We were just outside the cellar, there was a cam. We were helping Jerome get set up.
Right.
We're running the cable to the monitor. We just got the monitor hooked up. Didn't have it to the recorder yet. So we're sitting there. He's trying to get it all adjusted and that. And there's a camera in the cellar. We wanted to see, you know, what kind of picture we were getting. As soon as he gets it up on the screen, you know, Jerome says, yeah, that looks like a pretty good picture. Well, while we're sitting there watching this, we see this fog start to develop. Of course, we had the door open. It's summertime and it's cooler in there. So we thought, you know, the warm air hitting the cooler air, not a big deal. But this fog started to develop on the floor. It kept getting thicker and taller. It probably got, what, about 1.5 feet? What it looked like on the screen. We're just around the corner from the door. We're just watching this on the monitor. We're like, wow, this is pretty wild. And it just kept getting thicker and thicker. And I said, well, I'm going to run in there and, you know, I'm going to just kick the fog around, right? So they go and do something else. I walk around the corner and I jump in there. And there's nothing in there. I didn't see any fog or anything. And I said, hey, there's no fog in here. And then I remember John saying, no, we don't see it on the monitor. What did you do? Like, I said, I didn't do anything. But we all saw it.
Yeah.
And of course, I said, Jerome, you weren't recording any of this. You didn't have that hooked up, did you? And he goes, no, of course not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Which it probably wouldn't have happened if we did. But
right.
Yeah, we all sat there and watched it. Sit there and, you know, get thicker and taller. And then I thought, well, I'm going to go in. Nothing in there. We can see it on the screen.
Yeah.
I'd like to say hello to April and to Liz. Liz has said hi to all of us individually. So everybody say hi to Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
April.
So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, please put them in the chat. I will make sure that your questions get asked. I cannot guarantee that they'll get answered, but I guarantee they'll be asked. Terry, what was your most profound paranormal experience?
Well, let's see. We lived over in Hidden Valley States. This was not on a tour or anything, but we lived in a haunted house, and I would hear a lot of stuff in the house. My parents wouldn't hear it, and they thought I was crazy. So I told them that, you know, I'm hearing stuff when everybody's, you know, not, they're in bed or whatever. I'm like down in the basement sleeping, and I hear this stuff, and there's people like running everywhere but loose. And it's just like, it's weird. And it's like, they don't believe me, you know, it's like, it happens again, you know, and was you guys downstairs walking around, you know, and they know. And it was like we were moving out of that house, and we were actually my father they were selling the house, and actually he heard something run upstairs in the hallway, and nobody else was there. So we're thinking maybe witchcraft or some like little kids, you know, running in the hallways. And it's like, it was really wild. And we heard that there was like a witch doing witchcraft in the closet, my mom and dad's closet. And it was pretty weird. It was pretty wild.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
So Bobby, the question is what was your most profound paranormal experience?
I would say one of the most profound I've ever had was the first time I met you and Ron. You and I Terry and John, we went to the state penitentiary here in Missouri.
Yep.
And I remember when we went through the tour, which was very informative, that we got near the end of the tour. If you recall, they broke us up into different teams because there were so many of us took the tour that night.
On the floor.
And what happened was at the end of the tour, while we were waiting to unite with the other group, we kind of did a little round robin kind of question and answer period to see if we get any viable EVPs or anything of that nature. And matter of fact, Terry Walters was sitting right straight across from me. Mm-hmm. What happened was we were asking different questions. The leader of our group pointed at me and said, wanted me to ask a question. I did. I said, is there anyone here who feels like they were falsely accused?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my responses. You could tell people were looking at their equipment and they were getting responses. Went around the table again, came back to me and said, is there anyone here who would like to speak to an attorney? Again, you could see there were responses going off. The other group hadn't arrived yet, so I think the director said, well, we've had enough of this smart ass. I'm not going to ask him again.
Right.
So we were seated there, and all of a sudden, quicker than you can snap your fingers, I became filled with the most devastating feeling of just absolute
sadness
beyond measure. It was like, I remember at that time, it was flashed back in my memory, the death of my daughter. She died at 6 months old of a heart attack in my arms. I had also just recently lost my mother. And I had lost my second wife. You can imagine that's a pretty doggone large amount of pain. It's like I felt all of that at one time. And I was screaming internally, let me go. Let me get away from this. Take this away from me. And again, just as quick as you could snap your finger, I shook my head like that and I looked at Terry. I said, is the other group here yet? I'm getting hungry. Well, little did I know, Terry took a picture of me and I've got it on my computer somewhere, but you could not see my eyes. You couldn't see them. So if you recall, the end of that tour, we went to the death house.
Yep.
Which was the gas chamber. That was the punishment they used at that time. And so, we went in there, did some photo ops, the usual stuff. And the person who was guiding our tour said, well, that's the end of our tour tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed their tour. And I hope if you get the opportunity to come back to Jeff City again, please put us on your list of places you want to go. Good night, everyone, and drive carefully.
Yep, Thomas.
That was Thomas. If you remember, we were getting ready to walk away at that time and everything. And the lady who, who led this tour, she looked at me and she said, you okay? And I said, oh, yeah, I'm okay. I'm just tired and hungry. Because if you remember, it was kind of late that night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean,
Yeah.
And that was Maggie. That was her job to make sure everybody was okay. And
so what happened, and I told her, I said, yeah, I'm just tired and I'm hungry. And she looked at me kind of like real close like that and says, no, what happened? How do you feel? And so I kind of bowed my head and I said, well, and I explained to her about what I felt. And she said, well, first of all, don't feel bad. That's happened to other people as well. And I said, well, I'm sorry, I don't understand. She said, well, you got to remember, this penitentiary had the reputation of being the bloodiest 47 acres in the United States.
Yep.
There were so many different deaths that were here by natural causes, by, let's just say, inmate to inmate confrontations.
Murder, suicide,
Precisely.
different
So,
riots.
you know, she said, you got to remember that there's a lot of people who left this world very angry. They were very disturbed about things. And what happened was simply this: they picked up on you, that you were an empath, so to speak. And you were the kind of person that they could reach. So they all, as many as they could, reached out to you because you know what? They wanted to release their pain. They wanted to release their feelings of loss and everything that they were going through in their lives and obviously carrying on to the next. But they wanted to release that to someone so that someone could more or less verify the pain that they felt. Well, tonight it just happened to be you. And she said, so I just wanted that for my own knowledge, but that's what happened.
So,
and you know what, guys? That has stuck with me all these many years. And to this very day, I can honestly say that I know, one, I'll never forget that.
Right.
And two, if I actually did come face to face with an entity or some other realm, part of the paranormal realm that we come in contact with from time to time, you know what? I don't fear talking to them.
No.
I don't. And I think that's because of that experience. Now, I know that might not make a lot of sense, but to me it does. To me it did, and it always will. I will remember that, I think, for the longest time.
So here's an update to that. Maggie is no longer a tour guide at the Missouri State Pen. She decided to take a break. But Thomas, her husband, who used to be a guard at the Missouri State Pen, is still doing it. And you guys may remember Maggie and Thomas. They were on when the Wraith Chasers went for Paranormal
We're trying to get them back on the
Asylum.
I saw that. Yes.
They were on there. They were on Ghost Hunters. They were on Ghost Adventures. They were Maggie was on, before she married Thomas, she was on Ghost Adventures, and her ex-husband made their divorce about her being a volunteer at the State Pen to be the reason that they got divorced, which is not true. But I've been friends with, actually, I have Maggie and Thomas's name written on my board.
Yeah,
because I was supposed to have them on this show back in August, and something happened and they couldn't do it. So they're on my board still to remind me to read them. So yeah, I remember that night very well. It was
Maggie's
very active that night.
So Carl has another photo from Kelly Green that we're going to analyze.
I've actually got three photos.
Three photos. Okay.
Same photo enlarged in different spots. So,
okay.
Okay. I'll bring it up. She said, if you go back through the chat room here, let me see what she said about it. Okay, she sent these it's an orb picture from a location called Ship to Shore at Mablethorpe. Okay. Now, let me get to my Facebook here. Okay, what I want you to look at in here is back on the very back wall where you see the painting on the wall, right?
Right.
You see what appears to be a mop handle leaning in that corner?
Yeah.
Okay, what I want you to pay attention to is the lettering and that mop handle as we go to the next picture.
Ooh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right there.
Behind the map.
Yeah, behind the mop.
Yeah, right there.
Remember
A lot of
20
people would say it's what's up in the left corner, but
Hmm.
that's the lettering from the paint
Mhm.
on the wall. Because you see this line right here, that's
Yep.
the letters from the L.
Yeah, it's
You
right
see
there.
that round there, and we'll go to the next picture. Come on, go to the next picture.
Yep,
There it is enlarged.
that's cool.
Did I miss something?
Wow.
That's awesome.
Do
Yeah.
you see it, Ron?
Yep.
No.
Go back to the first picture.
Okay.
Am I looking at the lettering disappearing or?
No.
Okay, look
See
back
where-
there
right here where
by
my
this
bullet
mop
is.
handle.
Right.
This white spot there.
Look at the
Looking
white spot. That white spot right there.
Right.
See it. I see it.
Okay. Now we enlarge it. See it right here?
Yeah, barely.
I see it.
Now do you see it?
Yep.
It's whiter, it's a lighter color around
Yeah.
between in the corner of the wall.
See, it looks like it's got a face in it.
The question I have is, did she use a flash?
And that's what
Was
I'm
a flash
wondering
used
too.
on the picture? And what kind of paint was on the walls? Was it semi-gloss or gloss paint?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Paint.
and is it a reflection
Yeah.
of light? Again, back to skepticism.
Right.
Yeah.
You
It
know.
looks. It looks.
We're not
more-
saying yay, nay, or whatever.
No, I'm
but
not saying
we're-
it's not anything. I just want to know what the conditions were.
There's an anomaly back there. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
That has to be checked.
Under the letters, you can see there's a reflection of something up the
Yeah.
wall.
The
Yeah, up
building
in
looks
this corner
really
here,
bad.
you
Yeah.
see a reflection.
You
You
know-
can see that.
You know what this building reminds me of?
What?
The Oddfellows Hospital.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Old school used for World War I or II. So, well, thank you so much,
Thank
Kelly,
you, Kelly.
for sharing your pictures.
Send me pictures anytime.
You may not like what we got to say, but we're more than willing to look at them.
Yeah, we'll look at them. We'll tell you if we see something or if we don't and what it might be.
Yeah. So
There were bars on the windows. Well, nowadays you got those on a lot of houses too.
yep,
Right.
you got to have the bars to keep the crap in and keep the
Yeah.
crap out. And,
That's right.
and iron is good for keeping out paranormal stuff as well. So, so if you guys had one piece of advice to give a paranormal group, what would it be? And we'll start with Bobby. So while he's still here.
Okay.
Thank you. I've been having problems with my computer ever since the show started, so I must ask for forgiveness.
You're fine. And actually, this is much better. You've got a clearer picture and you
Yeah.
have better sound.
Yeah.
I guess if I would say a word of advice to anyone would be use a good, healthy dose of skepticism. And here's why I say that. One of the things that has been, I guess you'd say, in our mission statement of P.R.I.M.O since it started was we will do our level best to prove something is not paranormal before we say it is. Here's where I'm going. Many times electrical issues crop up. People say, you know, my lights will go off and on at different times of the night. People will say they hear footsteps in the hallway. They will have the dogs barking at a spot on a wall for no reason. The first thing they do is say, guess what? That's paranormal. Oh my, this place is haunted. Ah! No. Go in there with a good amount of logic, reason, skepticism.
Everyone again.
Do everything that you can to prove something is not paranormal, such as footsteps in the hallway. You know, that can involve heating, air conditioning, and ventilation systems that need to be cleaned and also need to be repaired. Popping sounds that are made by this underneath a padded floor will sound like a footstep. Is that paranormal? No. Just simply means you need someone from heating, ventilation, and air conditioning to take a look at what you have. Lights going off and on. Could be you've got a circuit breaker going bad. Could be you live in an area where they have peak requirements for electricity at different times.
Mm-hmm.
They will change and redirect the routing of electric going through your power lines. This will cause things such as rolling brownouts. It will also cause fluctuations in electronic equipment.
Mhm.
Is that paranormal? No. That can be explained with these electrical issues. So I would say this: a paranormal group, go in with a healthy amount of skepticism, logic, reason, and then, and only then, if you cannot explain based on all the data you have, then and only then will you say to the clients, this is unexplained. And that's the best way to look at it. Because even with all the equipment we have and we've utilized over all the years, there are things we've come across that we just have to openly and honestly say, we can't explain it. But use that as your hallmark, and you would be surprised how many times people have come to us after we've explained some of these different issues, and they've looked relieved, happy to know that based on the information we've given them, based on the data that we have been able to get, your home is not haunted.
Oh, that's
That's why. And that would be my advice. Use skepticism, logic, reason, but also have the ability to be able to look at all the data that you get. Use that. And you know what? You're going to be a better person and have a better organization because of that. And that's what I have to add.
Well, thank you so much for that. Diane, what is your advice to a new paranormal team?
I guess I take a different approach, and what Bobby said is absolutely true. I like to communicate. I say be respectful if you are able to communicate with them. Know your boundaries. You know, take care to protect yourself. Try not to bring anything home with you. You know, just leave it at the door. But I find respect is very powerful in the spirit world. And if we respect them, they'll respect us back. And if we talk nicely to them and ask them questions, they'll generally be very free with their answers. I'm not so much into the equipment, but what Bobby said is absolutely right. I just plunge forward and bring my side of my gift to the group. That's all I have.
And Mr. Terry, what is your advice?
I pretty much concur with what Bobby said there, that sometimes I get really excited when I'm looking through my pictures and that, or listen to a recording. But, you know, you have to just really be very careful and don't make something out of something that's not there. You see that happen too many times. I think probably one of the best things here that any of us as investigators can do is be the doubting Thomas there. When you look at a picture, hear a recording, whatever it is, and like Bobby talked about I remember we were doing an investigation over in Illinois, and people were talking about going into this room in the cold drafts, everything like that. So I'm pretty sure everybody's got one of these little deals there that you pull a button that can give you the temperature reading. They come in very, very handy. I just poked it at this place there where there's a lot of clothes hanging there, and it's like, wow, that really is cold. I took the clothes, pulled them apart there, and there was an air conditioning duct there. When the thing would kick on, you could feel it. So it's instead of going around saying, whoa, boy, that was really a cold draft in that room. I like to be my own critic. I guess that makes sense there. So I see a picture on my camera and I think, gee, that's good there. And then I start looking at it and think to myself, is there a light refraction there or something, or an outdoor source? Similar with my recordings. I'm not going to write anything up there if I can't prove it to myself. I guess that's the way, I think the way Bobby was explaining too, the same way. So that's my take on it.
A lot of dairy yesterday too. Thank you so much. John, what would be your advice?
Okay, I'll do an example. If you see a glass sitting on a table and it slides across the table, don't jump up and go, paranormal. No. Check
Condensation.
it out. Why did that glass slide across the table?
Right.
Is one leg a little crooked? Is there something blowing on it we can't see? Why did it?
Condensation under it.
Yeah, condensation. Yeah.
How many times did
We've
that
seen
happen?
that happen.
How many times did that happen at Golden Corral?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. A lot.
Yeah.
So don't immediately think it's paranormal. Look around, look at the circumstances, the surroundings, stuff like that. And then if there's no explanation, and hopefully you got it on video, then you can bring it to a group like ours and say, what do you guys think about this?
Oh no, you send it to Paranormal Caught on Camera and they make it all paranormal regardless.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't watch that show.
Or any of their ghost shows and it's demonic. Everything's demonic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be
Okay.
demonic, or you got to pull one out of your pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
hopefully out of their pocket, not out of the other place.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, okay, Terry.
What he said. I don't know.
Okay, well, whatever answer you have is the right answer.
What do you think of ball
Gotcha.
lightning?
Yeah,
Ball of lightning.
Ozzy's answer for everything.
Oh, yeah.
So that is actually my
Ball
favorite
lightning.
paranormal show.
Yeah.
Is the Osbournes Want to Believe?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I love Ozzy.
Yeah.
Ball lightning.
funny.
Everything's ball lightning.
Jack will say, "What do you think of that, Dad?" Oh, this is ball lightning.
And every time
Lightning.
take a drink,
It's like that. There wasn't even no electricity or nothing.
so, got it. Okay, so we're gonna do one more round of questions. Favorite paranormal show?
Oh gosh.
Can you say none?
Yep.
Yeah. None.
Not Zach Babins.
No.
Ghostbusters.
Okay,
I think I have every one of their DVDs.
so do I. Terry?
Hmm. Come back. I don't know.
Come back to you. John, do you have a favorite paranormal show?
I like Paranormal Caught on Camera because then you can see it and you can make your own decision.
Oh, and then you can yell at the TV going,
And then laugh.
why did you say that?
Yeah, there was one. Oh, there's these people are investigating a haunted house and something smashed through the window. So they open the door and there's a little like gnome
Oh, I
thing
saw
in the
that
yard.
one. That one was weird.
Yeah, but if you look at it, behind the little gnome thing, you can see a black outline rectangle of something behind it. And it's like, okay, I don't think that's legit. I think somebody set that up.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not the ones in the house, but
But
set
somebody
it up.
could have said it right.
Yeah, those things are too easy.
The ones that get me is the ones where the camera is pointing at the bedroom at the bed.
Paranormal.
On anything. I mean, it's hilarious because who sets a camera up on their wall pointing at their bed?
Porn
So-
star?
Well, yeah,
Or, yeah.
that's true, but
That was last night.
most of them aren't.
That's
Usually they
another
got.
show.
Usually they get if it's a porn
Yeah.
star. They got good quality cameras.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the
And
black
it's
and
not
white
green.
camera, the night vision camera of somebody being pulled out of bed or stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's
like
a
that
setup.
paranormal stuff.
That's all a setup.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
There's so many.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that show.
Yeah. But the thing is I can't do a show
I can't handle
based
the
on,
experts they have commentating
Yeah.
on everything. That's,
Yeah.
you know, I've
That
had
is-
people come to me and go, you need to do a show of you yelling at the TV like you do when you watch this. And I said, I can't do that because I'll irritate everyone. And they'll go, how is she a paranormal investigator when she doesn't believe anything that's on TV?
There'd be too much beep, beep, beep.
Actually,
I can't.
you can be a real good paranormal investigator that way.
I know.
Oh, get a cat.
Yep,
Oh,
that's Kiki. She was
Yeah.
having some alone time in the laundry room.
yeah. So if
And
you
she
guys,
started beating on the door.
so if you guys heard pounding, you know, like
No.
knocking in the background, it was her beating on the laundry room
And
door.
it's warm in there.
So, Bobby, do you have
Yes.
a favorite paranormal show?
No, I don't, because I know too much about television production.
Right.
And I know what goes into producing anything from a 30-minute documentary to even a short subject, because the way they want to make it entertaining, thought-provoking, also bring into line different ways of creatively editing things to get the effect that they want. Since I know those kind of things, I cannot comfortably sit and watch any of the programs because I know how they're put together. And so I feel that they're entertaining. Yeah, sure. To those who don't know about paranormal investigating and what it really involves. But so consequently, I have absolutely none that I like to watch. I just don't. So that's me.
So
Yeah, most of the stuff that we've done or ran into is you it's just experiences, that we've had that you couldn't put it on a show.
Right.
I mean, it just
talk
you just
about
couldn't.
it. We can only talk about it.
You
Yeah.
can talk about it, but
Yeah, I mean, just different
it
things that have
wouldn't
happened.
make the ratings.
One of the best shows I ever saw. We were down at the Pythian Castle one time.
Nathan Geller.
Lots of people down there.
That's his name, Nathan Geller.
We're just doing our regular stuff. I think Dara was there.
That's when we met Dara
Yeah.
and Caitlin.
Oh, was it that
Yep,
same night?
it was that same night.
But anyway, we're down there just doing our thing. We got the Echo Box out. And there's this guy with a big camera on his shoulder and all kinds of equipment. You just kind of run into him every now and then.
We
Didn't
didn't realize.
think anything of it. I just thought, well, this guy that likes a lot of nice equipment and he's just videotaping stuff just to do it. And then what?
6 months
6
later,
months later, he sends us
a video
a video of
us.
the whole thing down there. I mean, it was professionally done. It was a lot better produced than Ghost Adventures or anything like that. It was really good.
The thing
I
is,
couldn't believe I was in it a lot.
they were shocked as shit when
And we were getting a lot of really good stuff. And it's all on the video.
And I was the first person to ever get scratched there, and they got it on camera.
They got it.
Oh, wow.
They got a bunch of stuff.
So it was an interesting.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was an interesting place, of course, but we had a good time. But yeah,
I ought to try and find that thing.
Oh yeah,
If we
Dara's got it.
Dara's got it.
Mhm.
I guess she's got the DVD then. Oh no, she sent us one.
She's sent. She just played it the other day shared it on Facebook the other day.
Oh yeah.
Did everybody answer the question? I don't want to miss anybody.
Oh, she gave us a copy.
Diane, did you answer the question?
I don't have a favorite show.
I didn't think you did, but so we've got about 6 minutes left. So where can everybody find
Everybody.
P.R.I.M.O? Where can we find you guys?
On
Guys,
Facebook, sitting inside a lot because it's cold out. But P.R.I.M.O on Facebook, that's the P.R.I.M.O all caps at Jefferson CO period.
Okay, let me type that in there. No periods in P.R.I.M.O?
No,
P.R.I.M.O, what was it again?
at AT Jefferson CO period. The J in Jefferson and C in CO is capitalized.
It doesn't make a difference on here.
Okay.
No.
And that's on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay. I shared that in all the different chats.
See if you got it right.
So,
Hey.
yeah, I got it. So, tonight, you guys were live here on the Paranormal Pride's YouTube page, as well as the Paranormal or Bill of Rights Nation Facebook page and YouTube page. You were also live on Japan Paranormal.
Oh, wow.
In Europe,
You were seen in Europe as well, and Scotland.
no pressure.
You were also on Things Network and Temple of Phoenix Rising Network. So you guys were seen in 8 different locations at one time, and we got all the chats from all those locations that came into this. And so that's where you were being seen tonight.
Okay.
So hopefully you guys had fun. And I didn't tell you where you were being seen up front, only because of the fact that I didn't want you guys to have a panic attack.
Good plan.
Well, I wouldn't have had a panic attack. There's only 2, 4, 6, 8 people looking
Now,
at me.
Denise, are you going to still do this when you move to Florida?
Yep. Still going to do it.
Oh yeah, she's not leaving the network and
No.
not
I
leaving the
plan
show.
on
We get paid way too much.
yeah.
That's right.
And I plan on investigating. I'm planning on investigating the white sand beaches of Florida for everybody. You know, because you know what? There are ghosts on that beach just as there are everywhere else.
Yes.
Hey, she's done her radio show from sitting in that chair, laying on that bed on the first network. Now, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if she doesn't do a live show sitting on the beach.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Or from my boat.
Oh yeah, that
Well,
could
we
be a
have
good
to have
one.
internet, of course. So
We got
have to
hotspot.
have
We
Oh,
can
yeah.
set up on the phone. There you go.
hotspot on the phone.
That's right.
I do everything. But you know, yep, we're still going to do that. We're only going to be, what is it? 11 hours from St. Louis. So we won't be that far.
What, Ron?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Right.
So, and yes, my first show was always sitting on the bed. The second show, always sitting on the bed. And just March 2020 is when I got my desk set up here and started doing it from a desk.
Okay.
So when I went to the doctor once, they go, "So where do you work?" And I go, "From my bed." And the doctor looked at Ron like,
He snapped his head and looked at me like, did you know this? Yeah, I knew that.
"I work from home. I work from my bed."
And you allow that?
So,
It's like, hey. Hey.
so next week on Monday, my guest is Chuck Banks.
Hey,
At
Chuck.
7 p.m. Central, right here on the Bill of Rights Network, as well as the Paranormal Pride pages and Japan Paranormal. So join us at 7 p.m. Central for that. And Chuck is known to be a medium as well as a paranormal investigator, author, football coach, you know, very good guy, Christian minister. He does it all. So it's going to be great to have him back on. And we currently don't have a guest for next week for this show. But you know what? I was working on that before this show started. And we'll have
Things change all the time on these shows.
We'll have somebody great. I guarantee it. So you guys are going to have to come back and listen on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central to see who I surprise you with.
That's right.
Okay.
Never know. Never know. So again, I want to thank Bob, Diane, Terry, and John for coming on Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal tonight. and all the people over in our chat room. We had great conversations with a lot of them over there, especially overseas
Oh wow.
tonight.
Mm.
It was really big. So, again, I want to thank everybody and join us next week at 5 p.m. Central Time for Paranormal Nation Radio Not So Normal. And we will see you next week.
Thank
Have a
you.
good evening.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
Bye.
Really appreciate it.
Good night.